Stop whatever you're doing right now, take a deep breath, place your hand on your belly, and feel that life inside you, the tiny heartbeat that's already rewriting your world. Because this is the moment everything changes. And before we go any further, if you feel that pull, that spark, that quiet whisper of curiosity and hope, like this video, comment below and subscribe, because what you're about to experience will transform not just your pregnancy, but the way you see yourself, your strength, and your ability to create life with intention. Because choosing a vegan or vegetarian pregnancy is not about restriction. It's about reclaiming power, embracing nourishment, and proving to yourself every single day that compassion, health, and love can coexist in one seamless, unstoppable force. And the truth is, the second you announce or even think about your plant-based choice, the questions start coming. Are you getting enough protein? Are you sure your baby will be healthy? What about iron, calcium, DHA, B12? And the noise is deafening, sometimes frightening, sometimes isolating, because society has a way of making mothers doubt themselves, of whispering fear when all you want is to give life and do right by your child. But here's the emotional hook no one tells you. Every choice you make with awareness is a step toward empowerment, and your body, miraculous as it is, already knows how to adapt, absorb, and nourish life. So the key is not panic, it's presence, not perfection, it's intentionality. And the first step toward confidence is redefining how you see your meals. Because every bite becomes a message, a declaration that you are creating strength, resilience, and vitality in a body that is already extraordinary. And when it comes to protein, the fear that dominates so many minds is unnecessary, because plants are abundant with it: lentils, chickpeas, beans, tofu, tempeh, quinoa, nuts, seeds, and vegetables all provide powerful building blocks that your baby uses to grow. And when variety is combined with consistency, your body meets its needs without stress or deprivation. And this lesson extends to iron, a nutrient that can trigger anxiety, but is accessible in spinach, lentils, beans, pumpkin seeds, and fortified grains, especially when paired with vitamin C to maximize absorption. Because your body prioritizes what matters most, intelligently allocating resources to protect and grow your baby while keeping you strong. And calcium, the foundation of bone health, is abundant in leafy greens, fortified plant milks, tahini, and almonds, supporting both your growing child and your own skeletal strength as your body's center of gravity shifts and your joints carry more weight than ever before. And beyond nutrients, this journey is profoundly emotional, because every meal, every snack, every sip of water is an act of love, an intentional gesture that teaches your baby about care, consistency, and presence. And one of the most overlooked truths is that you must allow yourself to eat enough, to snack without guilt, to include healthy fats like avocado, olive oil, nuts, and seeds, because fat is essential for brain development, hormone regulation, and a deep sense of fullness that protects you from fatigue and emotional crashes. And hydration becomes sacred, because water is circulation, amniotic fluid, detoxification, and emotional regulation, helping your body navigate swelling, constipation, and headaches without panic. And as your pregnancy progresses, your intuition sharpens, your cravings evolve, and your relationship with food transforms from a source of anxiety into a compass, teaching presence, awareness, and trust in yourself. Because plant-based pregnancy is as much about emotional intelligence as it is about nutrition. And this awareness becomes the foundation of motherhood itself, showing you that caring for your baby begins with caring for yourself fully and unapologetically. And if right now you feel uncertain, judged, or quietly scared that you're doing something wrong, let this be your turning point, because you are not behind, lacking, or reckless. You are intentional, informed, and capable of creating a pregnancy rooted in compassion, nourishment, and confidence. And as we move forward in this story, you'll discover the habits, nutrient strategies, and emotional frameworks that transform fear into certainty, doubt into strength, and show that this journey can be beautiful, powerful, and transformative from beginning to end, because the story of your pregnancy is still being written. And the next chapter is where everything begins to shift in ways you've only imagined. And as the days turn into weeks, you start to notice subtle but powerful shifts inside yourself, the kind that no one talks about: the way your energy rises and falls, how your emotions deepen, how your connection to your baby grows stronger with every heartbeat. And this is where the real transformation begins, because a vegan or vegetarian pregnancy isn't just about food, It's about awakening to a new level of awareness, a conscious decision to show up fully for both yourself and your child. And the first thing you must embrace is variety, because relying on just a few plant-based foods may leave gaps. But weaving a tapestry of legumes, grains, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and fortified foods ensures a rich spectrum of amino acids, minerals, and vitamins that sustain you and nurture your baby's growth. And then comes the magic of mindful eating, the art of slowing down, feeling every bite, understanding that your body is intelligent. It knows how to digest, absorb, and distribute nutrients when given the space and respect it deserves. And hydration again proves its quiet power, because each sip of water, each cup of herbal tea, each nourishing smoothie contributes not just to your physical well-being, but to emotional regulation, stress reduction, and the foundation of calm that your baby senses even before birth. And as your belly grows, you begin to notice the emotional shifts that accompany this physical change: the impatience, the worry, the fleeting sadness, and the bursts of joy that seem to come from nowhere. And this emotional rhythm is normal, it is essential, and learning to honor it becomes a practice in self-compassion, because your baby absorbs not only the nutrients from your meals but the emotional environment you cultivate. And this is why meal planning becomes more than just nutrition. It becomes a ritual of love, preparation, and presence, ensuring that you are consistently fueling your body without guilt, without obsession, without fear. And one of the most transformative tools at your disposal is preparation, the kind that turns anxiety into empowerment, because when you prep meals in advance, you remove the stress of last-minute choices. You ensure balance in protein, iron, calcium, and healthy fats. And you create a sense of control in a time when your body may feel unpredictable, and snacks become your allies, small but mighty reminders that you are nourishing yourself. Because when you allow yourself to eat freely within the structure of mindful planning, your metabolism stabilizes, your energy steadies, and your body whispers gratitude through reduced nausea, better sleep, and a sense of groundedness that seems to radiate from your very core. And let's not forget the power of healthy fats, because DHA and omega-3s are essential for brain and eye development. And while many worry about obtaining them from plant sources, flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts, algae-based supplements, and hemp seeds provide a robust, reliable pathway. And the emotional impact of knowing you are meeting these critical needs cannot be overstated. Because each time you add these foods, you reinforce confidence in your choices, replacing fear with certainty. And then there's the matter of iron, a mineral that can cause sleepless nights if misunderstood. But by combining lentils, beans, spinach, and fortified grains with vitamin C-rich foods like citrus, bell peppers, or tomatoes, absorption improves dramatically, stress decreases, and your body thrives while your baby develops a strong cardiovascular system. And calcium, critical for skeletal integrity, flows abundantly through fortified plant milks, tahini almonds, and leafy greens, supporting both your baby's developing bones and your own structural resilience. And this period of self-discovery is not only about nutrition, it is about intuition, because as you track your energy, your mood, and your satisfaction after meals, you begin to understand patterns unique to your body, patterns that allow you to anticipate cravings, prevent dips in energy, and avoid the guilt that often comes from comparing yourself to outdated standards or to the experiences of others. And mindfulness extends to movement too. Gentle exercise like walking, stretching, prenatal yoga, and breathing techniques not only support circulation and muscle tone, but enhance emotional regulation, releasing tension and grounding you in the awareness that every step, every stretch, every breath is a gift to your baby. And the emotional payoff of seeing your belly grow, feeling your baby kick, and knowing you are providing life-sustaining nutrition from plants is indescribable, because it combines empowerment, love, and purpose in a way that nothing else in life can replicate. And the most profound lesson of this stage is trust in your body, in the foods you choose, in the rhythm of your days, and in the profound capacity you have to nurture life with compassion, intention, and unwavering focus. Because the journey of a vegan or vegetarian pregnancy is not just about surviving, it's about thriving, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And as you continue to show up each day with awareness, you reinforce not only your baby's development, but your own confidence, resilience, and sense of agency, building a foundation that will carry into motherhood itself. And as this chapter unfolds, you begin to see clearly that your choices are not sacrifices, they are acts of love, courage, and empowerment. And the practices Habits and emotional frameworks you cultivate now will ripple across your child's life and your own, teaching lessons that go far beyond nutrition. Because a plant-based pregnancy, when approached intentionally, becomes a story of transformation, strength, and the quiet, unstoppable power of a mother who chooses to rise, flourish, and thrive even amidst uncertainty. And now, as your body and heart grow in tandem, you are ready to step into the next stage of this journey, where deeper strategies, emotional resilience, and actionable practices will further empower you to navigate the months ahead with grace, confidence, and unwavering love for the life you are nurturing. As you move deeper into this pregnancy, the connection between your choices and your baby's growth becomes more tangible, more real, more electric, because every bite you take, every meal you plan, every moment you pause to feel your body and your baby is reinforcing a bond that transcends anything you've experienced before. And this is where the emotional power of a vegan or vegetarian pregnancy truly shines, because it is no longer just about nutrients or calories. It is about presence, mindfulness, and a conscious effort to create an environment that is safe, nurturing, and filled with love. And this is the stage where consistency becomes your secret weapon, because while occasional indulgences or skipped nutrients are not catastrophic, repeated patterns of conscious eating build a foundation of strength, energy, and resilience. And the foods you rely on, lentils, beans, tofu, tempeh, quinoa, nuts, seeds, leafy greens, fortified plant milks, fruits, and vegetables become familiar allies, each with a role in supporting protein synthesis, iron absorption, calcium balance, and healthy fat provision. And as you weave variety into your daily intake, you start to notice subtle shifts in how your body responds, how your energy stabilizes, and how your mood begins to regulate. Because nutrition is not just biochemical, it is emotional, and as you honor your body's signals, cravings, and preferences, you reinforce trust in your intuition. And this trust is essential, because fear, guilt, and anxiety can be as damaging as nutrient deficiencies. And by practicing self-compassion, you create a safe emotional space for yourself and your baby, where nourishment and love coexist in perfect harmony. And while some may focus exclusively on supplements, the power of whole foods cannot be underestimated. Because plant-based meals rich in protein, iron, calcium, vitamin C, and healthy fats not only supply essential nutrients, they also deliver fiber, antioxidants, and phytonutrients that regulate digestion, support immune function, and protect cellular health. And the emotional comfort of knowing you are feeding your baby a diverse, colorful, and intentional diet cannot be overstated. Because each meal becomes an act of devotion, a ritual of preparation that strengthens your resolve, your confidence, and your capacity to trust yourself. And as your belly grows, movement becomes both a necessity and a joy, because gentle exercise such as walking, swimming, prenatal yoga, and stretching not only improves circulation and muscle tone, but also reduces stress, enhances mood, and reinforces the mind-body connection that is so critical during pregnancy. And combined with mindful eating, this creates a rhythm of life where body, mind, and baby thrive together, and hydration remains sacred. Because water supports every system, maintains amniotic fluid, aids digestion, flushes toxins, and keeps your energy consistent, while also calming emotional fluctuations that can accompany hormonal changes. And at this stage, emotional awareness deepens, because pregnancy is not simply physical, it is a full spectrum experience, encompassing hope, fear, excitement, worry, and joy simultaneously. And learning to navigate this spectrum with grace requires daily attention, reflection, and sometimes, small rituals that anchor you, whether it's journaling, breathing exercises, meditation, or simply pausing to feel your baby move. Because these moments create a foundation of presence, resilience, and love that will guide you through labor, delivery, and the months of early motherhood. And as your nutritional understanding deepens, you realize that protein anxiety is largely a mental construct, because with a diverse plant-based diet, the amino acids you need are all available when you combine foods mindfully across the day. And iron becomes manageable when paired with vitamin C, and calcium absorption is enhanced by consistent intake of greens and fortified foods. And even DHA and omega-3 needs can be met with algae-based supplements or seeds like chia and flax. And this realization brings relief, confidence, and a sense of mastery over your body and choices. Because knowledge, when applied with intention, transforms fear into empowerment. And then comes the emotional dimension of food timing, where you learn to listen to your body's rhythms, recognize hunger signals, avoid long gaps that drain energy, and structure meals and snacks in a way that prevents fatigue, mood swings, and stress. And this practice of attentive nourishment not only supports your physical health, but fosters emotional stability, creating a ripple effect of calm and reassurance for your baby, who senses the balance, the safety, and the love flowing through every meal, every sip, every breath. And as you move forward, these daily acts of care, mindfulness, and intentional choice reinforce the narrative that a plant-based pregnancy is not a limitation. It is a declaration of strength, compassion, and wisdom. And the more you practice these habits, the more confident you become in your ability to nourish your baby, care for yourself, and embody the values you cherish. Because at the end of the day, thriving in a vegan or vegetarian pregnancy is not about perfection. It is about presence, it is about love expressed through consistent action, and it is about the unwavering belief that your choices, made with courage and knowledge, are shaping a healthier, stronger, and more vibrant future for both you and your child. And as this stage continues, you begin to see the profound truth that every intentional decision, every thoughtful bite, every mindful breath, and every loving action forms a tapestry of life, strength, and emotional resilience that will carry you into motherhood with confidence, clarity, and an unshakable sense of empowerment, because this is the essence of what it means to rise, thrive, and nurture life with both courage and compassion. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to talk about something incredibly personal and transformative for me, my pregnancy journey, but not just any aspect of it. I want to dive deep into how embracing mindful, plant-based eating has completely reshaped my experience, turning it into a beautiful act of self-care and empowerment. Before I got pregnant, I thought I ate pretty healthy. You know, the usual stuff. But once I saw that positive test, everything shifted. Suddenly, it wasn't just about me anymore. It was about this tiny life growing inside me, and I felt this immense responsibility to give them the absolute best start possible. This sent me down a rabbit hole of research. I read books, watched documentaries, and scrolled through endless articles about pregnancy, nutrition. And one thing kept standing out to me: the incredible power of plants. Now, I wasn't a vegan or even a vegetarian before this. The idea of going plant-based, especially during pregnancy, felt a little daunting. I had all the typical questions. Will I get enough protein? What about iron and calcium for the baby's bones? These were all valid concerns, and I want to be clear, I'm not a doctor or a nutritionist. Everything I'm sharing is based on my personal experience and my own research, always in conversation with my healthcare provider. It's so important to do what's right for your own body and your baby, and that always starts with professional medical advice. For me, the key was approaching it not as a diet of restriction, but as a journey of abundance. Instead of thinking about what I couldn't eat, I started focusing on all the amazing, vibrant, nutrient-dense foods I could add to my plate. I discovered a whole new world of flavors and textures. My grocery cart started filling up with every color of the rainbow: deep green spinach and kale, bright red bell peppers, vibrant orange sweet potatoes, rich purple eggplants. I learned that protein isn't just in meat. It's in lentils, chickpeas, tofu, tempeh, quinoa, and nuts. Iron is abundant in beans, dark leafy greens, and seeds, and if you pair them with a source of vitamin C like citrus fruits or tomatoes, your body absorbs it even better. And calcium? You can find it in fortified plant milks, tahini, almonds, and broccoli. It was like unlocking a secret level of food knowledge. One of the first things I noticed was a huge surge in my energy levels. That first trimester fatigue that everyone talks about. Of course, I still had my tired days, but overall, I felt so much more vibrant and alive. My digestion improved, my skin started to glow, and that infamous pregnancy brain fog seemed to lift a little. It felt like my body was thanking me for fueling it with clean, whole foods. But it went beyond the physical. The real transformation was mental and emotional. This is where the mindful part of mindful eating comes in. I started paying more attention to how I was preparing my food. The simple act of chopping vegetables became a meditative practice. I'd focus on the colors, the sounds, the smells. It was a moment to slow down, to be present, and to connect with the nourishment I was about to give myself and my baby. Eating became an act of love. Every meal was a conscious choice to support this incredible process my body was going through. When I'd feel the baby kick after a particularly nourishing smoothie packed with spinach, banana, and almond butter, it felt like a little thank you from them. It was a beautiful, silent conversation we were having through food. This connection was so profound. It wasn't just about checking off nutritional boxes. It was about building a bond with my child before they were even in my arms. Of course, it wasn't always perfect. There were days I craved something greasy and not so healthy. And you know what? I listened to my body. It's not about being rigid or perfect. It's about finding a balance that feels good. For me, the 80-20 rule worked well. 80% of the time, I focused on whole, plant-based foods, and the other 20%, I allowed for grace and flexibility. It's about empowerment, not punishment. I started experimenting with new recipes. I made incredible lentil shepherd's pie, creamy cashew-based pasta sauces, and black bean burgers that were better than any I'd had before. My kitchen became a creative space, a place of joy. I'd put on some music, dance around while I cooked, and just have fun with it. This process helped me reclaim a sense of control and agency during a time when your body is changing in ways you can't always predict. I couldn't control the morning sickness or the changing shape of my body, but I could control what I put on my plate. That was incredibly empowering. And the best part? My partner got on board too. We started cooking together, exploring new farmers markets, and making our health a shared priority. It strengthened our relationship and prepared us to be a team for our little one. We were building healthy habits not just for the pregnancy, but for our family's future. Looking back, embracing plant-based nutrition during my pregnancy was one of the best decisions I've ever made. It taught me so much about my own body, about the power of food, and about the deep connection between a mother and her growing child. It was my ultimate act of self-care. It was my way of saying, I value myself, I value this life inside me, and I am going to nourish us both with everything I've got. If you're pregnant or thinking about it, and this resonates with you, I encourage you to explore it. Start small. Maybe try meatless Mondays or just adding one more serving of vegetables to your day. Talk to your doctor, find a supportive community, and listen to your body. It's your journey, and it should feel good. It should feel empowering, because you're doing the most incredible thing in the world, and you deserve to feel your absolute best while doing it. Thank you so much for listening to my story today. If you have any questions or want to share your own experiences, please leave them in the comments below. I love reading them. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Until then, take care and be well. As the final trimester approaches, the stakes feel higher, the body feels heavier, and every movement, every bite, and every decision feels amplified, because now you are carrying not just life, but the culmination of months of care, intention, and nourishment. And the emotional weight of this awareness can be both exhilarating and overwhelming, yet it is precisely here, in these moments of intensity, that your preparation, knowledge, and mindfulness become your greatest allies, because every meal you eat, every snack you choose, every moment you rest intentionally is the result of habits built over months that support protein synthesis, iron absorption, calcium intake, healthy fats, and essential vitamins, ensuring that both you and your baby thrive even as physical discomfort, fatigue, and emotional fluctuations intensify. And this is also the stage where trust becomes paramount. Because your body has been carrying, adapting, and nourishing life for months, and every signal it sends, hunger, fatigue, cravings, or discomfort, is an invitation to respond with awareness, not fear. And when you approach this stage with consistency in nutrition, hydration, movement, and rest, you reinforce resilience and confidence. Because your baby absorbs not only the nutrients, but the emotional environment, sensing the calm, presence, and love that surrounds every choice. And as you continue, you may feel anxiety creeping in about whether you're doing enough, whether your baby is receiving everything they need, or whether your energy will hold through labor and delivery. But these fears are natural, and the antidote lies in perspective, preparation, and presence. Because by structuring your meals with variety: lentils, beans, tofu, tempeh, quinoa, nuts, seeds, leafy greens, fortified plant milks, and algae-based DHA supplements. You ensure a steady intake of protein, iron, calcium, omega-3s, and other essential nutrients, while also reinforcing a mindset of confidence and mastery over your body and choices. And hydration continues to play a silent but crucial role, maintaining circulation, amniotic fluid, digestion, and emotional regulation. While gentle movement such as prenatal yoga, walking, or swimming supports circulation, reduces swelling, improves posture, and enhances the mind-body connection, grounding you as your body works harder than ever. And the emotional dimension of mindful eating, intentional hydration, and consistent self-care grows even stronger. Because as your baby responds to your rhythm, you feel their movements, their presence, and their energy in a way that reinforces the profound truth that you are the source of everything they need, both physically and emotionally. And this realization fuels resilience, patience, and unwavering commitment. Because thriving in a vegan or vegetarian pregnancy is not about perfection. It is about consistent presence, awareness, and intentional action. And as you apply these principles, fear begins to transform into empowerment, doubt into confidence, and anxiety into calm. And at this stage, practical strategies become essential, such as balancing macronutrients at every meal, combining iron-rich foods with vitamin C for optimal absorption, incorporating healthy fats for brain development, and ensuring consistent calcium intake for skeletal strength. And these strategies are not just technical, they are deeply emotional, because every action reassures your body and your baby, creating a sense of safety, stability, and love that radiates throughout your day, reinforcing the trust that your body is capable, your choices are sufficient, and your baby is thriving. And as you continue to navigate the final weeks, emotional awareness becomes even more critical, because recognizing moments of fatigue, overwhelm, or fear allows you to respond with compassion, mindfulness, and self-care rather than judgment or stress. And these practices of emotional resilience, coupled with nutrient-dense meals, hydration, movement, and rest, form a foundation not just for a healthy birth, but for the first months of motherhood, when your energy, mood, and emotional stability will ripple through your baby's early experiences. And the confidence built through these months of intentional, plant-based pregnancy will serve as your anchor, reminding you that you have the knowledge, strength, and courage to navigate whatever challenges arise. And as you feel your baby growing, moving, and responding, you are reminded that every decision, every meal, every moment of awareness, and every act of love is weaving a tapestry of health, resilience, and connection that cannot be undone. And that the path you have chosen, though sometimes questioned by others or clouded with fear, is powerful, transformative, and deeply aligned with the values, compassion, and wisdom that define you. And as you step into these final weeks, you carry with you not just nutrients, but confidence, presence, and an unwavering sense of empowerment, knowing that you are fully equipped to support your baby, honor your body, and thrive as a mother with intention, courage, and love. Because the journey of a vegan or vegetarian pregnancy, when approached with knowledge, consistency, and emotional awareness, is a story of triumph, transformation, and unstoppable strength that extends far beyond the birth itself, shaping the foundation of life, resilience, and empowerment for years to come. And as you prepare for the final stage of labor and delivery, these lessons, habits, and emotional tools become your ultimate support system, a reflection of everything you have built and a promise of everything yet to come. And now, as you enter the final stage of your pregnancy, every sensation, every movement, every flutter of life inside you becomes a profound reminder of the journey you have undertaken. Because you have grown, adapted, and thrived not just physically, but emotionally and mentally through a path that demanded courage, intention, and unwavering commitment. And in these last weeks, the lessons you've learned about mindful eating, hydration, movement, rest, and emotional awareness converge into a powerful confidence that will carry you through labor, delivery, and the first months of motherhood, because you now understand that a plant-based pregnancy is not a limitation. It is a declaration of strength, compassion, and wisdom. And as your body prepares to give birth, you can feel the tangible rewards of every intentional meal, every act of self-care, and every mindful breath, because they have built a foundation of energy, resilience, and clarity that allows you to face the unknown with courage. And this is where emotional mastery becomes your secret weapon, because your baby is not only nourished by your food, but by the calm, confidence, and love that you radiate, creating a feedback loop of security. presence, and connection that cannot be replicated. And as contractions, physical strain, and anticipation approach, your preparation provides not just physical sustenance, but emotional resilience, allowing you to trust your instincts, trust your body, and trust the life you have nurtured so intentionally. And in these moments, fear transforms into empowerment, anxiety into calm, and uncertainty into an unshakable belief in your ability to thrive, because the journey of a vegan or vegetarian pregnancy has been as much about self-discovery as it has been about nutrition. And you now carry within you not just a healthy, nourished baby, but the knowledge that your choices, your consistency, and your presence have created an environment of optimal growth, protection, and love. And as you feel the strength building inside your body, the energy flowing through your veins, and the emotional clarity that comes from months of mindful practice, you realize that you have become the embodiment of resilience, compassion, and wisdom. And this realization fuels every contraction, every breath, and every beat of your heart, because you know that the power to bring life into the world is not measured solely by physical strength, but by the depth of your preparation, the intentionality of your choices, and the courage to trust yourself in every moment. And as labor intensifies, your confidence grows, rooted in months of conscious nourishment, emotional regulation, and mindful presence, creating a feedback loop of energy, calm, and empowerment that supports both you and your baby. And the moment of birth becomes not just a culmination of physical effort, but a celebration of the journey, the choices, and the love that you have poured into every day, every meal, and every mindful decision along the way. And as you hold your baby for the first time, feeling the warmth, the heartbeat, and the life you have nurtured, you are flooded with the recognition that every fear you overcame, every doubt you silenced, every ounce of energy you invested has been worth it, because you have proven to yourself that thriving is possible even when the path is unconventional, and that compassion, intention, and knowledge can create extraordinary outcomes for both mother and child. And as the hours and days after birth unfold, you carry forward not only the nutrients that supported your baby's development, but the emotional resilience, confidence, and presence that will guide your parenting journey, because a plant-based pregnancy is more than a choice. It is a story of empowerment, transformation, and unwavering love. And the habits, awareness, and trust you cultivated will ripple through your life and your child's life for years to come, teaching lessons of resilience, compassion, and the extraordinary power of conscious decision-making. And in this final chapter, you recognize that your journey was never about limitation, fear, or deprivation, but about rising, thriving, and creating life with intention, courage, and heart. And as you embrace this new chapter of motherhood, you know with certainty that you have not only nourished life, but you have also transformed yourself, becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable than you ever imagined, because the journey of a vegan or vegetarian pregnancy, when approached with knowledge, presence, and emotional awareness, is a story of unstoppable strength, unwavering love, and profound empowerment that lasts a lifetime. And as you look into your baby's eyes, you see reflected the courage, care, and dedication you invested, and that reflection is the ultimate reward, the ultimate validation, and the ultimate proof that you have thrived, loved, and succeeded beyond measure.